This is my 1981 Datsun 280 ZX. It sat in the back of someone's yard for 10 years and was rusting out. Luckily, we found it, bought it for $1,500, fixed all of the rust, gave it a new paint job, slapped on some wheels, and of course, we put a turbo on the L28 motor. In the last video, we installed a half cage in this thing, but today we're doing something even cooler. Last night, I literally lost sleep over this because I'm so excited about it. We're installing an airbag setup on our Datsun. Now, I'm usually not an airbag type of guy. I've never had airbags in my cars before. I usually run static, but there is a fundamental problem with the Datsun. So it looks really good at this height, but unfortunately, the rails on these old cars are super low. So as you can see there, that's the rail sitting about 50 millimeters off the ground. So the side of the car is up here and the rail is all the way down there. So to have this thing sitting at the height that we want it to look the way we want it, the thing has to be super low, and that is really impractical when you're driving, having to go up driveways, over speed bumps. And that's given us a perfect excuse to install airbags in this thing. This is gonna be a first for all of us. So as you can see, this is not a brand new setup. I got this whole kit off Facebook Marketplace for $800. Weirdly enough, this kit is actually made for a Subaru WRX. Subaru? I don't know, whatever you say. But even weirder, these fronts bolt straight into our Datsun. They're exactly the same top hat. We will have to do a slight modification on the rear to get the rears to fit. Luckily on this channel, we are not worried about a little bit of modifying to make things work. So first things first, we're gonna get this thing on the hoist.
So we removed the seats and the roll cage, and while the roll cage was out, I decided to give it a lick of paint, and it turned out awesome. Once that was complete, we removed the rear wheels and the rear coilovers, and we were ready to install our new airbags.
So we're working on putting the rear bags in, and of course cars are always more fun with friends. So we have Ben here. Hey Ben.
Hello.
He's already going to work on our old school air system that we have in here. So this is like a 2014 air lift system. It had an ECU in it. Did have height sensors at some point and a remote, but we're not using any of that. We're just going back to the OG style setup. So we're removing all these solenoids and everything out of the box, but we are using a switch panel that simply wires into these solenoids. Super reliable, but it's all analog as opposed to fancy digital stuff. We just need the car to be able to go up and down, air out to look awesome. Luckily Ben knows stuff about wiring because I am absolutely cactus at it, so he's going to take that apart. And then Nathan, hey Nathan,
hi,
who has a brand new YouTube channel, go subscribe. That's right here. Enjoy. Is working on the rears. So we do need to do a little bit of modification because they are from a WRX, but they are going to bolt in and work for us, which is quite a relief. So Nathan is modifying the top of our shock towers to accept our new coilovers. Then we can install all of the airbags. So it's pretty straightforward in terms of installing them. It's basically exactly the same as installing coilovers. Pull the coilover out, airbag coilover goes in, and then we can start looking at running the air lines. So it's pretty exciting. And on top of all that, I went ahead and painted our half cage, and I think it turned out absolutely amazing. I wanted to paint it a flat color because the car is Bayside blue, so I wanted the roll cage inside the car to really pop, because the whole point of having a roll cage is just for looks and just the driving experience, snapping necks and having a good time every time you take it out. So I cannot wait to fit this back in the car. But for now, we're modifying the rear coilovers. We're gonna get them in the car. Coilover going in, let's go. There we go, perfect. And that is the first strut, bolted in. Hell yeah. So the reason that these protrude so much out to the top of the tower is because, so it's basically impossible to bottom out the stroke of the shock.
What he's trying to say is when the bag is aired all the way out, the shock's still not sitting on the
bump stop.
Bump stop. Like, well, not the bump stop, but it isn't bottomed out when it's aired out all the way, so there's still shock travel.
That's it. So this allows for like all the travels. So even when the bag is small boy, when you're running super low, still got good travel.
You could be completely wrong, but that's what we're gonna go with.
And guess what? If we are, the YouTube comment section will let us know. We're gonna YouTube magic this one in. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Booyah! Look at that. 2 airbags in the back of our Datsun 280 ZX. But now we're at the halfway point of the video where we get to test the airbag. So we're gonna throw some wheels on, we're gonna get the compressor out, put a little air in those airbags and just make sure that everything is doing exactly what we want before we move on to the fronts. Let's go. Love that. So that's the height that it'll be fully aired up. It's exactly what we want, but now we want to see what it'll look like fully aired down. Keep going. Oh my God. Jesus, scared the crap out of me. That's what it's gonna be like aired out. Ooh, that's good. That's so good. So I'll give you this line. Here's the air line going to this coilover. So if you push that, technically, that should raise. And down. Down, it'll come down. Dude. That's good. That has motivated me now to finish the rest of this build. That is so good. In the fronts, it's cutting and welding. That's just how they are in the Datsun. So it's all one piece on the knuckle here. This bolts to our lower control arm. So we have to cut the current coilover that is on the knuckle off, obviously. So cut through here. Then we grab this guy, which is the base of our new coilover. We chop these tabs off because we do not need them. And then this welds to this. This screws into this. And then everything bolts in together just like that. Easy?
I don't think we ever done before.
Exactly right. Let's go. So it is now rather late in the evening, but we have two beautiful welded front airbag coilover thingy-majiggies. And we've also fitted the line to them, so now we're all ready to throw this in. And then we'll call it a night because it's late and we want to go home and play some drifting simulator before we go to sleep. You can do it. Yeah, lift, nice. So we have one side in at the front. We have not quite nailed the height at the front. So this is fully aired out, and as you can see, it's a little bit high, which means that we need to pull the coilover out again because the way that we have to adjust these is quite complicated. So we're gonna do that in the morning because right now we're going home and we're gonna have a sleep. Luckily for you guys, it doesn't matter because you're gonna see the finished result in this video. So we'll see you bright and early, coffee in hand, of course, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Any last words?
Bye.
Good night. See you in the morning. Bye. Good morning to the lovely ladies and gentlemen watching this video right now. We're back. So the front bags are now in the car. That means that all of the airbags are installed, which is pretty freaking cool. And now we have to work on getting our airline from the front to the back of the car. So we're gonna go through the firewall and under the carpet. And Nathan is currently working on the airline for the gauges.
So, we're starting down the side of the stereo. So you look over here. We're gonna run it down here, under the carpet, down the center of the car, near the gearbox tunnel. Then we're gonna come across to some holes through here, and then follow this line up here, through some cutouts into the boot, around the back of the tank, which will be all covered by the wooden floor.
And the carpet.
Where it needs to go, and the carpet.
So it'll be hidden. So without further ado, let's run the airline. I just wanna see this thing go up and down. That's all I wanna see. So the lines from all the bags are now running to the back of the car. So we've got 4 lines. One goes to each bag, but then we've got another 4 lines. That's these here. They're much smaller, and they go to our gauges. That is these bad boys right here. Look at that. So freaking good. So they have 2 needles in them. So this is for the front bags, and each needle corresponds to each bag. And that way you can make sure that each bag has the same amount of pressure in it. Super handy. And I have to give a massive shout out to the team at AIRBAG. They're located here in Bayswater in Melbourne. I went down and saw those guys, and I had the best customer service experience that I've honestly ever had with any business. Dave at AIRBAG, so freaking helpful. He put up with all of my questions, especially because we're running such an old setup here. And they're obviously used to selling all the new stuff, but he was more than happy to talk me through how all this stuff works because I'm an absolute noob when it comes to airbags. He didn't try and oversell me products, which is awesome, although he did show me some very nice AirRide stuff that you can use so that you can use the apps on your phone to make your car go up and down and stuff. And we're probably gonna upgrade to that in the future, but we decided for now to stick to the old school stuff. Easy analog setup. Very good for my small peanut brain to understand. So now we have to build the false floor in the boot. So we've got this piece of MDF here. We have some carpet, and we're gonna go ahead, cut it to the shape of the boot. We need to clean this all up, start making everything look pretty, and then the final step will be throwing the airline onto our solenoids, powering everything up, and testing it. I'm so freaking excited for that. Time to do some welding. I can't see it all. very happy with the job that we've done here. It looks really nice and tidy. We've got all of our lines now cable tied and out of the way throughout the whole car, and now we can go ahead, put our floor in. And at the moment, we're just gonna tentatively have stuff sitting there. We're not gonna mount it all properly for the purposes of this video, so that we can have the car actually airing up and down in this video, because Nathan has to leave and time has run away from us. A job like this takes a lot of time. It's very tedious. You really have to pay attention to detail with everything that you're doing, and there's just a whole lot of tiny jobs to do.
You want it to look nice.
Yeah, want it to look nice. You want it to actually work, not leak. So we're really taking our time, especially because this car kind of deserves it. So. So now we are testing whether our actual setup is gonna work. So Nathan, do the honors. It works. It's pretty loud, but it works. All right, we should be able to put some air in the bag. So we watch the gauge. There we go. Boom, 20 PSI straight in it. Done. All right, so bringing it down, we have air in the bag, so it's gonna be interesting to see kind of what height it's sitting at. Man, the anticipation is killing me. Nice, so it's definitely high at the moment. That's sick. A bit high. Have a look.
It looks pretty low, to be honest.
Good?
Whoa, that is gangster.
Oh man, that's awesome. It goes up so fast. That's crazy. So Nathan has left us, he's headed home, but I could not have done this without him. So do me a favor, head to his new channel, subscribe to him. The link to his channel will be the first comment in this video, so go show him some love. But we are now back in the shop and I've had a little bit more of a play around with this thing. So I'm gonna start the car again. I actually have run the compressor up now and I've let it switch off via its own pressure switch, and it does work, which is very good news because it means everything that we bought, it all works and it works beautifully. A couple of things I will change. So the front is not quite low enough when it's fully aired down. Luckily that's base height adjustable, so I can wind that down a little bit more, and I'll definitely dial that in a bit more. Super happy with the back. Like, that is absolutely spot on. And also check this out. I don't know if you can see under there, I think you can, but the rails are almost sitting on the ground. Like, that is absolutely perfect. I understand why people get airbag setups now. This is actually quite addictive. So good. I'm so freaking happy. It is everything that I hoped it would be, which is freaking awesome. The goal with this Datsun was pretty much to build like the ultimate JDM car. The Z has always been a dream build of mine, but having it turbo, airbag, half cage. Before we end the video, I am gonna slap the half cage back into the car, so let's do that right now. Cage is in. What is the verdict on the color though? Not too shabby at all. The brown seats definitely need to go black, but I'm definitely not mad at the blue cage. It's kind of hard to tell at the moment though, because everything in the back is going to be black, but it definitely looks pretty cool behind you when you're in the car, which is sweet. GT3 style cage is so freaking sick. Stoked with how this car is coming along. Gosh, that looks so freaking good, doesn't it? And that is where we're going to wrap this video up. It's been an absolutely mammoth effort over this weekend to get this airbag set up, installed. It came out of a WRX. It's now in a Datsun 280 ZX, which is pretty freaking awesome. And I'm bloody wrapped at how well it all came together. We still have a bunch of wiring things to tidy up everything in the rear just to make it absolute Mickey Mouse. But I'm gonna do that this week off camera because there's a bunch of tedious stuff that you guys don't need to see. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've watched this far, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I've found a new project for the channel. This one is so freaking cool. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. There's a big story behind it. The turbo stuff for the drift kart has also been ordered and on the way. So we've got so many things coming up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also subscribe to Nathan's channel. It's in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Bye. Also, like, how good is that? Front needs to go a bit lower, but other than that, we good. Bye.